Sunday morning with no way to hold my head that didn't hurt. And the beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert. Then I fumbled in my closet through my clothes and found my cleanest dirty shirt. And I washed my face and combed my hair. Hey, Wolfetta, the Wolfarian? Nice. Roblox gamer. Ron Swanson's in. Falcon 2 Point. Jonathan Egg is here. Bryson Leon. Siege of Melon. John Rivera. Little Dookie Stain. Caden. MX. Jamie's in. Ass butt Asian man Alexis. I got behind. Brian's here. Captain Kidd. Wolverine. I see. Benjamin Dominguez. Alex. Another Alex. Ian Army. You want it? Yes. I got behind. Sorry. I got behind. That sounds sexy. No, today I wanted to It came from China. Dark Rose says. Yeah, you guys know we've been staying away from politics and stuff like that on these streams. I moved all that over to the cave, but I don't see this as really political. This is just, I don't know if you guys caught any of these stories, but it's fun to get a little bit of good news when it comes to Corona, because typically there is good news on the vaccine front as well, Theo, but that's neither one of these particular items are related to that. The best news I think I've seen on the vaccine front is the whole thing with Pfizer, and how I mean, you got to give them credit for that. They're investing $1 billion into creation of a vaccine, and they're doing it before the vaccine will even prove that it works. And that sounds like, okay, what the hell does that mean? No, it's actually them going out of their way to try and bring a cure or a beating down of the virus as soon as possible, because basically what they're saying is they think that they can create a vaccine, so they're going to go forward with the creation and the manufacturing of millions, hundreds of millions of doses before it finishes all its trials. So the risk they're taking is if they're wrong and it doesn't work, they just wasted $1 billion that they're never getting back. But if it does work, if it does prove to be effective, then they can immediately saturate the market with it. They've taken out a huge step, and basically are taking a huge financial risk to try and make it available sooner. That's not even one of the things I was going to talk about. It was just brought up that that vaccines have been it's a coronavirus, you can't get a vaccine. That's not true. You don't know that. It may not work. The vaccine may not work, but to say you can't get a vaccine for it is not true. Brian says, not sure what this is about, but she never told me her age. That's always a good random disclaimer to throw out there at any point, Brian. Yes. Mike says, I'm so sick of this, but it's an unproven drug thing, stating the obvious here, but some people are so stupid. Yeah, well, and this is not even about anything. Well, let me tell you guys what it is. It's not even the good news I've been talking about is not anything drug related. First of all, I'm away from the chat for just a second. This was really big. The South Korean CDC found that re-positive patients did not infect any of their 790 contacts. This is from the dailymail.com. So basically what this is saying is South Korea has determined that people that have had the coronavirus got better, but then still had the virus in their system. It's non-transmissible. It's basically, for lack of a better term, it's basically like, I don't know, how would you call it? Dead skin cells type thing. It's still there, but it's not active. The reason that's huge is, of course, we're all concerned about reinfection, and we knew that people that had been classified, as cured or had the virus and beat it, were then showing up with the virus in their system again, or still, or actually in this case it would be again. So the concern was, okay, people are getting reinfected, but no, that's not the case. They are not contagious when they have that, and it's something that they are actually going to shed. So that, I mean, that's huge. And again, that's the only reason I'm sharing it. I didn't want to get a whole uh contentious debate going, but good news is good news. That's monstrously huge. If what they're finding in people that have already come through the disease, what they're showing as coronavirus is a non-contagious thing, that's just monstrous. Uh, there have been people who got the virus 4 times. Well, this is what they're saying though, Henry. I hadn't heard about 4 times, but this is what they're saying though, Henry. When you recontract, when if you recontract it, they said in all these cases, the South Koreans did, they feel confident to say that it's non-transmissible. Uh, do, 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 do. None of the 700, I'm reading from the Daily Mail article, none of the 790 people that the patients came into contact with were found to be infected with COVID-19, the disease caused by the virus. Researchers also found the virus samples collected from patients who tested positive a second time couldn't grow in lab cultures. So again, if you had tested positive again, it's basically a flaccid form of the virus. That can be huge going forward. Um, Mike Lombardo says, apologies. Oh, no problem. I said that in reference to Trump announcement he was taking hydroxychloroquine. Did you see what Joy from the View said? No, I can imagine. I don't have a problem with Trump taking hydroxychloroquine. I do know a lot of doctors have been taking it as because they feel like if hydroxychloroquine does work, and New York University has a study that showed taken early on or as a preventative, it may actually be providing relief from the virus. So again, it's everything. You know what it is, Mike. Everything has got to be politics in America. I don't know about the rest of the world, but here it's got. If Trump took it, it's got to be bad. It's like, well, why? I don't even understand why that's an issue. Who cares if he took it? There's plenty. It's not a new drug. We know what the side effects and potential side effects are. If he has a doctor that's saying, yeah, the potential side effects are worth it, if Trump feels like that it's going to protect him from getting the virus, who gives a shit if he takes it? I don't understand why that would even be an issue, except that everybody's got to play politics with everything. Let's see. And I've got one more article I'll read to you shortly when I catch up here. Watch the vaccine bring upon an I am legend thing, John Rivera says. The way 2020 is going, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Yeah, 2020, I don't think we can put anything out of its realm of possibility, pal. Yeah, I agree. Hi, Steve. Trump is sipping on that high dollar fishbowl cleaner. Johnny says, yeah. That one kind of amazes me when people actually people actually want to hold up as examples people that were stupid enough to fuck off, Shane, that were stupid enough to drink fish tank cleaner as some sort of proof that Trump has led the country down a dark and seamy highway or something. Listen, I don't give a fuck what you heard, saw, or read. If you took some fish tank cleaner and drank it, that's Darwin, baby. That's Darwin coming to get your stupid ass. I don't care who said what about anything. Jamie says, Uncle Curtis, I don't talk out of the ether. I recommend checking out Dr. Kaufman, Dr. Butard, Dr. Mikovits. I'm familiar with Dr. Mikovits and Dr. Tenpenny. They're being silenced because they offer different hypotheses. Yeah, I'm two of those four. I'm well aware of, Jamie. There's so many politics, so much politics involved in this virus here in America that it's bordering on the insane. And yes, if you are a doctor with legitimate and you have a legitimate background, but your opinions, your the things you've seen from the virus or the research that's been done doesn't lead you to the same conclusion as another specific group of doctors and researchers, you're just considered to be a whack. The thing is, I will say this, Jamie, especially in the case of Mikovits there, if she's right on a lot of her points, it's going to come to fruition. I don't understand why both sides with something like this are so willing to hang their hats on extreme opposites, because as far as the disease, what it will do, what it won't do, so on and so forth, when it could come crashing down. How is, as particularly what we're finding out here now, you've got universities all over the country starting to say, okay, we're opening up for the fall. Notre Dame, you guys know I'm a big Notre Dame fan, just said they will have classes in the fall, back to in-person classes. It's been happening all over the country. So why did Newsom close down the California schools? And that starts in August. Why the hell would you be saying that you can't go back to class then? Other than if you're looking for some sort of political advantage or to make some sort of political points. It doesn't make any sense. There's too much unknown about the virus. There's too much unknown about what's going to happen between now and then. And then let me read you the other article if we're going to have a conversation about this. The CDC updated how they updated their guidelines on how the coronavirus is spread. Basically now it says it's mainly spread through person-to-person contact and, in quotes, does not spread easily on contaminated surfaces. That's a big one too, because if that's the case, it makes, we obviously have to reopen at some point. It makes the reopening much more feasible. And if this is the case, and it is almost entirely only spread through physical contact, it certainly makes our prospects going forward into the quote unquote new reality seemingly much easier to navigate. We had talked about this on streams before. I'd always believed that, knowing what we did and do know about the virus, if it weren't for the fact that we have such a long tradition of shaking hands and hugging as a greeting, I don't think it would have spread nearly as fast, because no matter what else is said, obviously the quickest way to transmit this virus would be through physical contact. And it's just something that, is something we do. Think about, if you're out and about, whether you're in school or in the workplace, wherever the case may be, the amount of times that you have physical contact with somebody else during the day, whether it's a handshake or a hug or just somebody pat on the back, a high five, whatever, it goes on all day, every day. And with now that we're finding out too, the virus has been here longer than we thought, who knows how long we've been spreading that to one another. So both those things, though, are pretty substantial news. I mean, as far as giving us a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. Let's see. The news is making it seem like it's really bad. Well, it is. I mean, it is really bad. And yeah, Lou, you can set out a conversation about, again, I don't want the streams to get so oversensitive that when there's a little bit of good news about something, it can't be shared. I wouldn't have interest in having the streams. I mean, that would be a little bit ridiculous. Jamie says, I've got a riddle for you too. How can this COVID virus spread by touch, but they didn't so much time proving HIV does not spread by touch? How can this COVID virus spread by touch, but they didn't spend so much time proving HIV does not spread by touch? Yeah, well, the whole thing obviously, I think that's apparent to everybody. The whole thing with HIV was not handled particularly well from the start. And unfortunately, when it first became a thing, back would have been the 80s. And I say this with no degree of satisfaction about it, for sure. But because it was seen as being limited to the gay community and the druggy community that were sharing needles, there was a lot of indifference to it. That's frightening and chilling, but true. Because it had the way it was being spread was limited to those communities, there wasn't the urgency given to it that had been given to something like this that comes after everybody. That's unfortunate, but that definitely happened. Spend so much time. I got what you meant, Jamie. I got what you meant. Yeah, the whole HIV thing was fumbled a lot. It wasn't it wasn't handled well. uh Little Stein says you look good, damn. Wow. I like you in comment of the day so far, Little Stein, for sure. I don't know how I achieved looking good, but Potion says we're in lockdown. I didn't even notice. That's what Spaz Kid will tell you too. He's like, I guess lockdown kind of sucks, but you know what? It's not that different from what I was going to do once I was out of school anyway. Casinos going to reopen? I think like everything else, Jeff. I think it depends on where. All the different states are doing things differently. Obviously, down in you got Georgia and Florida having open, Texas having open to some degree. I would imagine the ones down there are going to be open before ours up here in upstate New York. But I don't think it'll be too long even for ours up here. Now, downstate, down in the city, obviously things are terrible. But up here, I don't think it'll be too awful long. A lot of it'll depend too on the individual governors and things like just what we're talking about. They're still learning about the virus. Now, if we learn and it seems like the CDC has reason to believe this, if we learn unequivocally that the virus does not spread well from human to surface to human, that obviously means stuff opens up a lot quicker. So it's hard, it's impossible to say. We just don't know. Every day they learn some more about it, so it's impossible to say. Chrome says, so just saw the Patreon tax thing. Government's going to money grub. I guess I pay an extra 20% on the G100 I sponsor because of tax and a few other minor charges. I'd forgotten you had told me that, Chrome, because somebody else is in the comments saying that. And I remember you had told me, being in Scotland, that you pay more or paid a substantial tax, but I didn't realize it was 20%. I don't want to say. I was going to say I can't imagine they're going to tax you guys more. But the information that Patreon gave us was just that it's it varies wildly all over the world who's being taxed, who isn't being taxed, and at what rates. I know here in America it's typically on something like that. It's typically like 3-4%, but I can't imagine they would hit you guys with more. That isn't yours. I don't even know, Chrome. I think you guys yours is a VAT, isn't it? A value added tax that you guys pay for stuff like memberships and everything. Excuse me, because I know they're some of the Democratic Socialists here. That's a big part of their plans moving forward. They want to put VAT taxes, value added taxes onto things to try and pay for all their different projects. So on to good news, Jamie says, I'm thinking of running away to upstate to go live in your basement for 24/7 bad touch. Yes. Oh, Golden might be down there. Oh, that would be 24/7 bad touch. So yeah. Don't, somebody, I saw that and I missed it. Somebody said the Chinese are are preparing. Oh, here we go. Potion says, guys, the Chinese are preparing next year's product, COVID 20. I laugh, but that's probably not even funny. But yeah, the UK folks have told me that there's a substantial tax, and again, I thought that was a VAT. Yeah, it is a VAT tax, Chrome. That's what I thought. All goods and services, from purchases to restaurants and others. Wow, that's substantial. Wow, because now, like Chrome, our sales tax, and it varies from county to county and state to state. But now our sales tax here is 8.5%, and that's not on everything. That sales tax isn't applied to food and things of that nature. It's applied to clothing, stuff like that, but not food, the essentials, not food or medicine or stuff like that. Wow, yikes! Jesus Christ! Gareth says it's 15% VAT in South Africa. That was before. Man, I didn't. I knew that a lot of the nations that have, for instance, medical services provided by the government and stuff like that paid VAT taxes. I didn't realize they were that high. Holy shit. Wow. That's big. Demon King says you have the best quarantine hair I've seen so far. So I agree, you look pretty damn good. Yeah, I got to admit, I haven't missed a haircut. I've been fortunate. You know, I know most people are really struggling with that through the quarantine, but no, my haircuts have my my haircuts have been right on schedule. And did you guys see what was going on in Michigan? That a couple of dams burst? What the hell? That's scary. That's frightening just to see some of the video of that. We don't have anybody in the way. We had a scare like that here not too long ago. We have um a dam up to the north of us that provides some of the water for New York City and everything, and they had some concerns with it that it was going to let go, and if it would have been coming right down by my house. Michael Vance says, "I wish the Dragon Balls were real so we can get rid of COVID-19." Yeah, that would definitely be the wish, wouldn't it? Absolutely. Demon King says, "I've been growing a quarantine mustache. Good thing we're in a lockdown because it looks like a porn stash." That's right. Spaz Kid rocked one of those for ages. You're half an hour from the worst of it, Morgan. Of the Now, I just want to make sure we talked about a lot of things of the floods. That was frightening. Jesus Christ! I saw some of the video shot from above, shot from helicopters and stuff. That's pretty terrifying. Jamie says, "Don't worry, I can take golden. I faced the devil when I was 8. I'll be okay." And the thing is, Jamie, you know, if it if you're open to bad touch, you and Golden will probably get along great anyway. Jack says, "I took a selfie to show someone how long my hair had gotten. Went to add a hilarious speech bubble, and the pic wouldn't recognize me as a face." Yikes. Well, that's why Spaz Kid went to the buzz cut. He just couldn't take it anymore. Because again, his hair is like mine. It comes in so thick, and he just said, "Fuck it, can't do it." Licks, you know what? It's almost scary to take those guesses because, I should probably read the comment first. Lick says, "So do we want to take a guess at what apocalyptic scenario we'll get next month?" The frightening thing about that is normally that'd be a lot of fun, but it doesn't matter how crazy you were to get with your guess for the apocalyptic event of next month. It's all possible. 2020 has proven to us that anything is possible. So there is nothing that would be like, oh, that can't happen. T Money, thoughts on the vaccine? Oh, there's tons of vaccines or potential vaccines being developed throughout the world. Again, this whole thing that Pfizer did, though, you got to give credit where it's due, props where it's due. I know most of us don't have the fuzziest of feelings towards big pharma, but hey, give them credit. They're willing to put $1 billion into their vaccine before they know that it's going to work. Again, if they develop this and it doesn't work, they're out $1 billion. But if they develop it and it does work, we'll have it immediately. Everybody they'll be furnishing the world with it the next day. So you know, hey, we go after them when they do things that are despicable. In fairness, you got to give them props when they do something with our best interest in mind. Chrome says, "I've actually got a deal going with someone for a G100 next month, so we could see 2 Sakuras next month. Though I may hold off on mine for a little while to check this taxing on the safe side." Yeah, I'm hoping you guys don't get hit again, Chrome. It sounds like, and again, don't take this as you won't get taxed more because I don't know that, but it sounds like from what Patreon told me, from what I've been able to read up on it, and there's not a lot really so far. Sounds like it's going to affect more U.S. because here in the U.S. we typically don't pay taxes on memberships. So, and it's not going to be nationwide as near as I can tell. It's only some states are adding it. And if that's the case, it's typically, again, 3-4% or something like that. But I don't know for sure, Chrome. My guess would be it's mostly because of governments, either nationally or locally, that are adding a tax. I don't think necessarily that places that already are hitting a 20% VAT are going to increase that. Jesus Christ, I would hope not. Morgan says, "Yeah, the floods. That's terrifying, Morgan. 30 minutes away from it. It's coming this way, and I live by water, but I'm far enough inland. I think we're okay watching it though. That's oh yeah. I hope everything works out okay for you. There's been like there's over 10,000 people they evacuated, right? That I don't know why. Because I like the water. I like going to the ocean. I like swimming, but for some reason, water-based apocalyptic events terrify me more than others, and I don't know why. It's just like watching the different monsoons that have taken place, or all the videos you see from Japan back in what was that 2011. I mean, it's just it creeps me right out. I don't know why. It's just the power of water that frightens me. Augustine Best says, "Bro, my sister's boyfriend was talking shit, so I snuck into his room and fucked his girl." Wait a minute. Jeez. Chrome, you say that, but I can hear the increasing sound of excessive hand wringing coming from Edinburgh. Never underestimate a politician's ability to stick their hand in your pocket. Yeah, that's what. Well, Chrome, that's why I always put that caveat that I can't guarantee it. Oh, I would never underestimate a politician's ability to stick their hand out for more, or as you say, stick their hand directly into your pocket for more. I didn't realize it was 20%. That's substantial. Yeah, we'd have a problem here in America if for any reason they put a 20% VAT on anything. Yeah, that would I can guarantee you here in America that would result in violence in the streets. I can't even imagine. Again, we bitch about paying our sales tax, and that's not on every item, and that's again my county's about average. It's 8.5%. Add it. Oh no, I can't even imagine. John Rivera says, I think the Canary Islands are going to collapse and cause a 2,000-foot tall tsunami and take out the entire east side of the U.S., even with that minimal percent chance of it happening. Yeah, John, I just, there's nothing, the way 2020 has been through this first, not even half, nothing is out of the realm of possibility. Nothing makes you say, oh, no, that couldn't happen. Unfortunately. I'm bored. 8.5. I need to move. Why? What do you get hit with, board? That's our sales tax here. And again, for those of you outside of the U.S., that's not on everything. Again, food, medicine, stuff like that. The sales tax doesn't apply to that. Well, thanks, Donna. I appreciate that. T Money says, "What do you think will happen to those who refuse to take the vax?" It's too early to say, T Money. It's too early to say. Because the thing with vaccines is just like with the flu vaccine, not all of them are 100% effective. That's why, not everybody, I don't get the flu shot just because I had gotten it once and got the flu anyway. So it's like, if I'm in the percentage of people that it doesn't really protect, why bother? And at least to this point in my life, the flu has never been that big a deal. If I get the flu, I'll get sick for a while and I'll get better. So I don't take it just because the one time that I got it after taking it. Oh, you got to go, Jamie? Okay, well, thanks for being in with us, hon. And like I say, there's always room in the basement. Hell, well, I'll bring you right up into the computer room here. You can hang out here. Don't go down there with Golden. Screw him. But yeah, it'll all depend on what the vaccines numbers are like. Would depend on, I would assume, what would happen if people refuse to take it. Have you seen Christ Rules says, have you seen the drama of H3H3 versus the Gnome Keemstar? Yeah, I have. I don't, you guys know me, I'm not that much into YouTube drama. I've seen that they're going back and forth at each other, and I think it was, and I hate to, especially since he's passed, I hate to mispronounce. I don't get too involved in the drama. It's, oh, hold on a second. Do we glitch out for a second, guys? Yeah, I just got a notification saying you're blaming it on me again. Your connection is fucked up for a second. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was my connection, Susan. It was just for a second. Okay. That's the only thing with doing because I'm streaming through their new service now. I don't have the way I had it set up before, I had a monitor of what I see native on my desktop and what I was receiving on the other end through YouTube. I can't see that anymore, so I just gotta question you guys when they do that. But I did get it. I did get a notification pop up saying it was down for a second. Virus can have two waves. It's possible, Rodney. It's possible. Coronaviruses haven't always had. Well, actually, they've rarely had second and third waves, but they have had them. That's pretty good, Nolan. 2020 can't get any worse. June, almighty push. Pretty much. I'm not. Listen, I'm not leaving out any possibilities from what I've seen in 2020. Almighty push is just as possible to be an occurrence as anything else. Jack says, Spaz kid looking up that heavy porn interrupted your connection. Well, the thing there, though, Jack, is again, we've been fortunate enough that I've been able to significantly increase our connection. We've got a really fast connection now. So if he's found porn good enough to drag that down, he better start sending me over some fucking links. That's all I got to say. You don't keep that to yourself. What are my thoughts on Dragon Ball Super, Nicholas? I loved it. It was great. You guys saw it in the reactions. I thought it was fantastic. Super was an absolute blast. I loved how my views changed on Frieza throughout it. Not that he became a kumbaya member of the crew. Let's all join arms and fight evil. He's still a dick, but what an impressive dick. And excuse me. And of course, Android 17 rose from, I'd say, middle of the pack as far as my feelings about him as a character, but he wasn't even middle of the pack. He just wasn't even somebody I thought about that often, to being one of my favorite characters. Yeah, it was fantastic. Super. My favorite anime, John. Like I say, I've got an upper tier of anime that would be Hunter x Hunter, One Piece, probably Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and as far as favorite one, if you're saying by favorite, it means okay, you can only watch one anime. What would it be? Well, it depends on day to day what I'm in the mood for. What an impressive dick. Well. Lex says it's the beginning of December 2020, and it's been revealed that the heat death of the universe has been advanced from 100 billion years to right now. Yeah, yeah, basically, Lex. Or tomorrow June's headline will be "Sun burns out in 36 hours" or something like that. Nothing would surprise me anymore. Lady Susan Hokage Goku Black says no. Igor says, okay, who's playing Jumanji? First Sea Virus, then those killer hornets, then the floods, then Shad Gaspar dies. Yeah, that was sad. I saw it was they found his body. What a way to start the decade, huh? It's goddamn. It's just been phenomenal. I mean, it really has. When you think about it, what we've experienced in 2020 so far, it's just been. And herds. What about the swarms of locusts? What was that in Africa? I believe, right? Swarms of locusts. You can't get more biblical than swarms of locusts. Chrome says, "Oh, I didn't hear this." So, did you hear about Netflix's Twitter starting a fight with fans over Avatar: The Last Airbender and Korra? They clown themselves, admitting their live-action remake will be pointless. No, I didn't catch that. I should look that up. I'm glad you brought that up, Chrome. Good news for those who are following along on the YouTube side with me with bringing the Avatar reactions there. I've gotten a response from the production company, and I don't understand why all of them don't do this. It makes so much more sense. Instead of blocking, they're aware of them, and every day they come in when I post it, and they could take all the monetization from them. I don't care. They share monetization. I didn't even know that was a possibility, but that's what we get now. They're coming in, so we should be good to finish Avatar, I would think, because they're aware of it, and they just I didn't even know, again, that this was an option. They just put a claim on it that shares monetization with me. So I don't know what percentages or anything like that, but to me, that's them saying, okay, excuse me, it seems like more and more production companies and stuff are starting to realize that reaction videos, if done properly, are not harming their series. It's not harming their product at all, and really, it can tend to draw more interest into it, especially something that's an already completed series. So even with Avatar being revived back onto Netflix, it seems that they're cool with the reactions, at least with the way I've structured the reactions. This is why I refuse to change them. People always say, "Well, no, you gotta take down the opacity and bring the sound down and put this." Listen, I think what I'm putting up there is fair use. If they think it's not, I'll deal with it. If they're going to block it, YouTube gives them that option. There's nothing that I can do about it. But then you're getting more and more of these companies that are saying, "Oh, okay, well, here, you know what? If you're going to post this and it's going to be monetized, we'll split the money." Seems perfectly fair to me. Smokey Loki says favorite JoJo season minus Stardust Crusaders. I get asked that a lot, Loki. I don't really. Again, I'm not much of a favorites guy when I'm actually into something and really enjoying it, because it's like if you're at max enjoyment of something, I don't know how you put one over the other. I enjoyed every element of JoJo. The lasting impression of JoJo will always be for me though was when they killed the main character 9 episodes in. I was like, okay, this series is different. This character's name is the name of the series, and he's dead. Gigamax is a big Etika fan. I hope I'm pronounced that. Again, I don't remember if he pronounced it Etika or Atika. And look, next few posts, Gigamax says, Atika always wanted to go on to Keem's show and made sure to act extra crazy when he did. He put on a show and Keemstar let him do it as a favor and maybe a strange way of therapy. H3H3 is a hypocritical jerk now, unfortunately, and he just sort of complains and whines now and uses dead people's legacy to support his argument. Yeah, didn't Atika's girlfriend or something come out in support of Keem, saying that, he wasn't the reason for him taking his own life or anything? Gigamax says Keem has done some fucked up shit in the past, but he's definitely not to be blamed at all. If anything, it's the fans who scorned Atika by spamming the clown emoji at him then. Yeah. I mean, I don't follow the drama that close, but mourning for him after he killed himself. Yeah. It just seemed pretty powerful that his girlfriend was so adamant that Keemstar wasn't responsible for it. But again, I don't know that much about it because I don't get that deeply into the drama. But the thing of it is, it's unfortunate because it's young people and they don't have life experience enough to tell them this. But really, if you're struggling at any level with your mental health at any serious level, YouTube is not the place to be. Putting yourself out there is not the thing to do, whether it's on YouTube or you want to be a social media influencer or whatever the case. We all know the level of toxicity that's out there, no matter who you are. It's always going to come at you. It's not something I would recommend for anybody that's struggling with their own mental health, that for sure. Let's see. John says, I went to Pornhub yesterday and I saw the most disturbing boobs in my life. I'm still scarred and I don't think I will recover in my lifetime. Okay, I'm not going to ask you for a link on that one. I'm going to take your word for it. Yeah. I'm just waiting until the end of December to when the entire universe gets swallowed by a massive black hole, and we're going to get a sign that says level 2 pop up because it can't get much worse. Hey, didn't I follow that I fucking love science Facebook page. Didn't they oh shit, I can't remember what exactly the article was about, but didn't they discover something significant about a black hole that they had found, or shit, I can't remember what. Oh no, I know what it was. I was reading about the other day. Did any of you guys see that, where supposedly they found traces or clues of another universe, a parallel universe, one parallel to ours that's running backwards? Any of you guys see that? They found out that black holes are scary. Thanks, Lix. Lix went right to the scientific discussion. You saw that, FaZe? That was pretty fascinating. I mean, I'll be first to admit, once you get reading the articles in depth, it starts to get over my head. But just the fact that they honestly have reason to believe that there is a parallel universe that's running backwards, that's just kamui. It's already scary. That was freaky as hell. God damn. Uh, no, next year it's going to say congratulations, you completed the first level of the tutorial. Oh no, please no, John Rivera. Please no. We don't need the real gameplay to still just be coming up. We talked Mike, we talked about this. You guys know I have the podcast and we record them over at the place I call the cave. We talked about that on the last podcast. He says, did you see the pic of Stacey Abrams in a cape surrounded by mist from an article that the Washington Post did? It was fucking hilarious. What the hell? But what gets me too, Mike, I said it on the podcast. For those who don't know, Stacey Abrams, if you don't remember, she ran for governor of Georgia and lost. Outside of that, her only political chops are she was served in the governor's state body for a number of years, and she was a patent lawyer, tax attorney, something like that. But anyway, and for some reason, this close loss has catapulted her up into through the ranks of the Democrats. And there's been conversation about Biden potentially picking her as VP. Well, the WAPO did this article, and they went so over the top. They have this picture of her. It's done in stark black and white, and she's standing regally with a cape and her hands at her sides, looking off into the distance with this smoke-filled background and everything. It's fucking bizarre. It's really, really weird. And what gets me, Mike, though, is how many people saw that picture and went, "Yep, that's a good idea. That doesn't look ridiculous for a politician. That won't get mocked to death." Who thought that was a good idea to shoot a politician like that? What are they trying? What are they trying to get over there? I mean, the other picture they had in the article was fine. It was just a picture of Stacey Abrams, and she was holding a little round cutout of an American flag design, and something that you would expect to see, and on a story on somebody who is a politician, not the whole. And somebody online put that picture up against Undertaker's picture as he comes out with the smoke behind him and everything. And yeah, it was pretty poignant. Mike says, you mean she's not the governor of Georgia? She thinks she is. I mean, and her whole thing too was, it's kind of sad. She achieved her level within the Democratic Party by whining, by basically complaining that, oh, there was voter suppression. That's the only reason I lost. I'm not gonna give in. I'm not gonna concede because it's in some circles, whining is celebrated. John says, Curtis, do you think kids will have to go to summer school or have to redo a grade this year? I don't think they should. Kind of fucked up my opinion. Yeah, that's tough, John. That's really tough. School districts are going to have a lot of decisions to be made about that because, again, if you can't go to summer school, so do you hold the kid back for an entire year? Do you try and add some workload to their following year? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is to that. Jar says, do you believe in God? For me, no, I'm not a believer. For me, there's a lot of suspicious themes in religion. If someone today called themselves a prophet, we'd ignore them. I think people just want to believe in something. Yeah, again, I've said it 100 times. I have absolute zero issue with anybody that's religious, has a belief, a faith in God. I think it's good. Hey, it's good. As long as your faith in God is just something that gives you comfort and support and helps you get through your life and is your belief, I'm fine with that. The only times I have issue with religion are if they promote the attacking of others in any way, shape, or form. But outside of that, no. Hey, I hope they're right that there is something after this life, because I don't think there is, and my way is really boring. Smokey Loki says, I'm using my birthday wish to end our misery. A solar flare and comet will hit Earth simultaneously as it's sucked into a black hole while we're invaded by zombie aliens during Yellowstone eruption. See that? If we're going to go out though, Loki, I want something just like what you described there. We don't want to go out with we want to go out with a bang. You know, make it big, just something like that. Yeah, the solar flare, the comet, and the black hole comes and encompasses us, and Yellowstone starts erupting. Yeah, I'm with that. If we're gonna go out, let's do it spectacularly. I agree. Or trying to push the belief saying, yeah, big green, yeah. Again, I have no problem with religion. Is not my thing. I have no problem with religion in general. August says, if a man has no sauce, then he is lost. But the same man can get lost in the sauce. Gucci Mane. Orgy mid black hole lick says, oh yeah. Yeah, before we get crushed by the pressure, yeah, absolutely. Orgy on the way. Absolutely. Nolan says a lot of people go through their lives with no meaning, no purpose. Religion helps a lot of people find something worth living for. I agree. On the flip side, fanatics do us no favor. I also agree with that. Yes, Nolan, I agree with you right down the line. Yeah, and obviously the people I love most in life are religious. My wife's a Catholic; she's very religious. Spaz kid was brought up Catholic. I mean, I have no problem with that. It's just because it's not my particular set of beliefs. Mike says victimhood mentality is their symbol. Ridiculous. Victimhood. Oh, yeah. Going back to what we were talking about earlier. Yeah, I don't know, Mike. That you have that small echo chamber that seems to manifest itself mostly on Twitter, where I don't know. To me, it's just a really pathetic bunch. It genuinely is. Ohm says, "Remember when Vegeta used Big Bang Attack on Bulma?" What is hi, hey Bat Boy. Hey Dat Boy, how you doing? John Rivera says, I was given a double test grade math project due in a week during a global pandemic. I'm fine. Jesus Christ. That's right. It's gotta be. I do sympathize with you guys. It's gotta be difficult to keep your focus and try and work on your studies from home. That to me seems like it would really be difficult. There's so many distractions. I mean, at least in school, you're taken away from the distractions of what is your private life and the things that you like to do and be around. Yeah, that's tough. I give it to you guys. It had to be difficult. Young Quizzy says the only crushing I want to die by are anime tits. Yup. I am with you 100%. Oh yeah. Yeah, if I could go out under the weight of oh man, there's so many wait, it doesn't have to be just one set of titties, right? Can I get crushed by multiple sets? Because that's what would make me happy. Oh, I would go out with such a big grin on my face. Excuse me. Dude, 2020 has been one big movie plot. Yelsu says, yeah, I don't like this film. I think you're right, and I'm not buying a ticket for this. When the theaters open up, I'm no, you're not getting. Excuse me, I'm not even buying popcorn for this one. Nope. I see people respond to M. Are we still on coronavirus talk? No, we've been M. You know the streams as well as anybody. We've been all over the place. That's what I love about the streams. We've been everywhere. We've been on religion. We've been on coronavirus. We've been on random silliness. Slough says you should have watched last night's episode of Dark Side of the Ring. It was on Owen Hart, a real heart wrencher. Jim Cornette was in it and nearly broke down over what happened. Yeah, I saw some social media posts about there being another Dark Side of the Ring out. I'll try and watch it. I slacked off on those a little when I had free time. I jumped over to watching those two episodes of the Undertaker documentary that they've done. That's been really, really good. I really enjoyed that. But I'll get back to some more of the Dark Side of the Ring. That boy, have you ever played any of the Pokemon games? The only thing I played was I played Pokemon Go with Spaz Kid for a while, but that's it. Other than that, no. Nope. My favorite Nazi icons, Sailor Moon. See, there's so much talk about Sailor Moon, and Sailor Moon is, now that I become an anime nerd and I like collecting anime stuff, as you see, it seems like Sailor Moon is highly westernized as well. outside of the big obvious ones like One Piece and Dragon Ball and Naruto, it seems like I see a lot of Sailor Moon figures and just different crap that you can buy from the series. It just seems like it's been very westernized, and I know really next to nothing about it. Oh, cool. Morgan says next post with nice news, maybe an idea for others. Cool. We always like something. We always like a little bit of nice news, Morgan. Absolutely. The thing I'm sure other people, but for my district, they're giving us like 2 times more work than we normally have in school. John says, "Jesus Christ, that's I don't. Again, I don't envy you guys at all. That would be difficult. I know that would have been difficult for me to have to school from home." Morgan says some uplifting news for the stream. I just got wined. My town is doing a thing where they make wine bags with other goodies for friends and strangers. My friend even included cat treats for my babies. That's cool. That's a neat idea, Morgan. That is really cool. Just making little bags for one another and stuff. That's a really neat idea. Yeah, that's cool. We did that. You guys have seen that in that little video I posted and stuff. Our community did this, posting rainbows on the buildings and stuff as a show of unity. But no, I hadn't heard about that. About he got wined. My my wife's a big wine drinker. Well, I shouldn't say it. It makes it sound like a lush. If she drinks, she likes wine. Put it that way. She drinks very rarely. But yeah, that would be something cool. Chrome says, so a redraw Sailor Moon challenge is going on at the moment. A lot of famous Japanese mangaka and animators are redrawing a screen cap from Sailor Moon. Now, Western anime fans are screeching it's racist. Oh, Jesus Christ, Chrome. Does anybody ever wonder why we can't have nice things? I mean, seriously, holy shit. Ward says, I was homeschooled from 5th grade to high school graduation. Yeah, you know what? Homeschooling, there's a strong case to be made for homeschooling. I think now more so than ever. I'm a big believer in it. I think kids get a lot out of it, to be honest with you. I really do. I mean, I understand that there's the socialization thing is probably better going the more traditional route, but as far as the educational aspect of it, I think it's very effective. I haven't seen the new Scooby Doo movie yet. Ocho Scoob. No, I haven't. I told the gang, surprisingly, since that's one of the cartoons from my childhood, I was never a huge Scooby Doo fan. I mean, I'll probably get around to watching it. It's not like I have something against the series, but I was never a big fan to where once I saw that Scoob was out, that it's something I'd want to make sure I sat down and watched. Excuse me. Sal says Western anime fans have definitely nearly ruined the whole genre. That doesn't surprise me. I'd rather have the cringy early 2000s than right now. Listen, with the way the West has gone, with particularly with the not only the willingness to take offense at everything, but the zeal to take offense at everything, to just wake up every day and find something else to be offended about, they ruin a lot of things. The whole cancel culture and the whole hypersensitive offense, always ever offended culture piss me right off. I have no use for those people. I really don't. I can honestly say that. They just piss me off to the point where it's just like, I want nothing to do with them. It's just a pat on the head and get the fuck out of my way. I just can't take that. Chrome says, seems a lot of idiots don't get the creator as Japanese. They think a Japanese character can't have blonde hair or blue eyes, forgetting some characters are blue haired or purple. Yeah, Chrome, I completely get where you're coming from. We have a segment of our society that I am convinced, and I mean this sincerely, they get up every day looking for something to be offended about to try and get props from their echo chamber. There's no doubt in my mind. And again, those are groups of people that I have absolutely zero use for. I like that too, Johnny. He says when Vince broke down when the dude asked him what Taker meant to him personally, it made my eyes water. If there's one wrestler that Vince generally cares for, it's Taker. And from what I've heard from the guys, and of course I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of the ex-WWE guys, there's not a lot of bad said about Vince. I mean, guys will say, he's a hard ass, but lots of bosses are hard ass. I haven't had a lot of the guys have serious issue with Vince. he's given a lot of guys great opportunities too. Can he be a dick? Sure, but most of us can be. But the ex WWE guys I've talked to, if you ask them, okay, who did you encounter in your career that was a dick? It's never Vince. He's never at the top of that list. I'm offended that you're offended. Yeah, money on my mind. Pretty much. That's where I am too. Well, I can't even say I'm offended that they're offended. I'm just dismissive that they're offended. When you're that easily offended about things, again, it's not like I feel the need to confront you about it. I just don't have any use for you whatsoever. I'd just rather you just go away. Who have I worked with, Slough? Oh, ex-WWE guys? Oh, geez. My favorite guy to wrestle to work with was Snuka. Snuka was a blast. Snuka, Slaughter, Tony Atlas, Road Warrior, Animal, Tito Santana, a bunch of guys. I won't remember them all right offhand. Never worked George Steele, but got to hang out with him a lot. And then that's a whole other list of guys that I've got to meet at shows and stuff, but didn't necessarily wrestle. Lots of them. Our society is fucked. Let's become toasters. It says. I like that solution. I like this become toaster solution. Yes. So Shojo's also created a wife of eight. Oh, okay. Chrome says would like you to see Sailor Moon one day. Only question is, we'd go with the original or remake. See, one of the classic magical girl Shojo's characters, also creators, the wife of Hunter x Hunter's creator. Huh. I didn't know there was that kind of connection either. Yeah, well, that was the conversation we had too. Remember, guys, when I watched Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, was which to watch, the original or Brotherhood, and of course we went with Brotherhood. It's the more condensed version, and now, of course, at least for now, the original Full Metal Alchemist is getting sponsored over at the Goose, and I really enjoyed the first episode of that. And you can already see what you guys were saying, that the original is just more detailed. And that's kind of cool, especially going in with having some knowledge about the characters. It was just so much fun to see those characters again, too. Man, I love that show. Just love it. This quarantine should be used for students to find what they love doing. I know for me, I love coding, but I can't do that when I have 10 math assignments lined up for me. Yeah. Again, John, I can't say that enough. I really sympathize with you guys having to try and learn like this. Yep, I don't know how you guys do it. I wouldn't. I know I would have been I probably would just not have done it. And that's not anything I recommend. That's because I didn't take shit seriously enough. Johnny says Taker is the most dedicated to the business dude I've ever seen. Yeah, he lives the business. He really, really did and really does. It's been fascinating watching that whole thing on him. Really enjoyable. Well, guys, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to go. I forgot to tell you guys when I started. Today is one of the shopping days. I got to run out to the store, pick up our supplies for the next couple of weeks or so. And Spaz Kid, I think needs more. Spaz Kid is the chocolate milk king. And I think I need to get him his Hershey syrup as well. He has a little milk with his Hershey syrup in his chocolate milk, as I'm trying to say. But yeah, I got to run out to the store, and I still got some editing and shit to finish up, and then I have some stuff I have to put together that we ordered for. We redid our bedroom, and I got some stuff I got to put together and put on the walls in there and everything. But this was another fun stream again. I don't ever want to get to where when there's good news, I can't share it. I know we're not going to have many of these streams that lean over into anything, certainly nothing political, and not necessarily the big newsworthy things, but I just thought it was fun to share with you guys that there is some good news on the old COVID front. But guys, thank you for, oh, look who shows up at it's the Chocolate Milk King himself. Sup? But thank you for hanging out with me. It's Wednesday, so today's sticky stuff is hump day sticky stuff. You could make the case that everyday sticky stuff is hump day, but I don't designate it specifically as so that makes it different. So here it is. It's pampu pampu. It's sticky stuff, hump day sticky stuff for you. Everybody gets a little hump day sticky stuff. Hump that sticky stuff right in where it belongs, because we'll bang, okay? Flashly like Buggy. And as always, most importantly, and certainly on hump day, goosh, 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 goosh. Goosh.